And we are live. I've got with me today the Mountie, aka Ryan, Space Commander, and Gazz X.
Oh,
What did you guys think of that little intro? A little bit corny, a little bit goofy.
it's great.
I think it was perfect.
I almost wanted to play it twice. It's so catchy. Oh heck, let's play it one more time. You ready?
Sergeant Slaughter, everyone is behind you. Sergeant Slaughter, you defend our red, white, and blue. 'Cause you love everybody in this land so much. But if somebody puts down America, they better beware of the cold blood.
I love that song. Not even ironically like that song. I unironically really love that song. All right, Crash is with us. Well, the circle that is Crash is with us. It's ironic. Is it irony? Is it irony that Crash keeps crashing?
I think you picked the
Sounds
right
good to me.
name for that.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Crash? Come on in. So I'm wearing shades, not to be cool, and I'm drinking coffee because I need it. I was actually up. Hang on, let me have a sip of my coffee. I was up last night, well into midnight, chatting with Sarge. Space Commander was there with us, and also Mark Potter. And we just had a good old chat, hanging out. Sarge can tell a good story, and when he's on a roll, you just let him go. You let him tell his tales. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun, but now I'm tired. My eyes are tired. How do I look?
What eyes?
Yeah, you
Can't
look
see him.
It's okay. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's not the Mountie. It's Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
He
Sorry.
fooled me.
I couldn't help it. I had to try. I was hoping Ken would be on so I could give him some grief.
Oh, yeah. Ken will jump in later. You can throw your gimmick back on there and give him some grief then. So for those that don't know, Ryan is playing the Mountie in the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship. He's done a few promos for me already, so it'll be the next episode where he goes up against the Hitman. And I do have a little reveal. I showed this off yesterday to Ryan and Sarge. They weren't as impressed as I was, but here's a little reveal for one of the characters coming to the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship.
Oh.
Any idea who that's going to be?
Woo!
That's it. Oh, here we are. So, Yo Joe from Spine Ticks. Good to see you, buddy. Toykennections soon. Well, keep that in mind. And Rob Vegas, he became a new member, so be good to see you, Rob. If you want to jump on, hang out with the guys. No camera necessary. Oh, Hans Chow's on. Good evening, Hans Chow. Would you like to join us?
Come on in, Hans.
The trifecta of awesomeness. Gaz, Ryan, and Hans, and now Space Commander and Crash. And oh, man. I don't know.
That's right. I'll send Hans the. We got Analog Toys. Hello. Give me a sec, Hans. I'll send you the link. Tony, do you want to join us? You're welcome to jump on too, mate. I'll just send the link to Hans. Hans, good quality. I like Hans. You can join the rest of us handsome crew. All right, let me just
level out,
send
give us a little bit better hair to baldness ratio. So
Well, Oh, 3POA. Yeah, sorry, mate. That's all right. Well, thanks for jumping in the chat. Let me get to Hans. Hans, I'm going to send you the link on Instagram, buddy. So jump on as soon as I figure out social media. Hans, there
You
he
figure
is.
it out, let me know too,
Modern
please.
technology.
Oh, mate. Technology is not my friend. I'm learning, though.
Mine neither.
Hey, Go Figure is here. Hey, guys.
Oh, sir.
Yeah,
I was hoping Tony was going to give me some reinforcements so I wouldn't feel quite so lonesome.
Well, that was me yesterday. It was you and Mark Potter on the United Front against myself and Sarge from the USA. Oh, here we go. Zazel was the hero of the day. Well, I don't ever claim to be any kind of hero, but not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear beards. Next time. Here's the man himself.
Hey! Cheers,
There's
Tony.
that good-looking dude.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all beautiful.
Yeah, Ken will be back later. He probably is buying Pokemon cards. Or out of
Do that.
scale Transformers.
Or
He's gonna do that
stretching men
Jake Paul
in his
thing
dungeon.
where
1 second.
Let's see if we can get see who else we can get in here. So this is the first members live stream. Yeah, we're sort of just fumbling around trying to figure it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, as Crash has found out. Doesn't always work for him. But hopefully he can jump on again, figure out his connection issues. Sometimes if you freeze, and you freeze in a funny position, it's worthy
That never
of a
happens.
Here we go. What's this one? Analog Toys. Ken loves Pokemon. He traded me a V2 Snake Eyes for a Bulbasaur. Get out. Get out. Bulbasaur. That's worth a Pikachu at least. Is anyone here actually into Pokemon? Yeah, have you got a favorite, Mark?
That doesn't surprise me.
Leave me alone. Very honest. What a favorite Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pikachu. I love Pikachu.
Okay,
But I can still probably name like at least 50 of them because my kids are into the game too, and we sit down and we play.
yeah.
So yeah.
I never really played the game because I was already into my teens and then heading into adulthood by the time Pokemon really took off here. So for me, I watched the cartoons a little bit. I didn't really play the Game Boy games, but I did have that Pokemon Snap game for the N64, which it was okay. It was okay for a bit of casual fun.
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those weird things where I like as I get older, like I always find like sometimes when I play video games, I don't really want to be engaged to the level where I'm cursing at the television and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I like to play easier games. I mean, granted, I picked up a game called Elden Ring recently, which makes me say things that I don't think my mother would be pleased to hear. But you know, a little stress.
I can imagine that language coming from you, Han.
It's incredible, and I'm an English teacher, so creative cursing has come to the territory. You know?
Yeah, true. I haven't got any new video games in so long. The last video game that I bought is the current video game that I play, and we got a Yo Joe from Stephen. Yo Joe.
Oh.
And Wannabe Actor says, I met Sarge a few weeks ago. How was it? A good experience, I hope. So the video game that I haven't even played it recently was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, cool.
I immersed myself in that game. And then when it went to the online, I just built a character and just stayed in there.
I have a story to tell you, but is this going to be online? because I don't
Well,
want
it's live, so if you
Right.
tell the story, 7 people are going to hear it.
Okay. So
Don't worry, hands on. Completely confused by it too.
okay, great. So I'm in case you can't tell, not only by the name, but also the small eyes. I'm Asian. So
I must be Asian too, then.
I thought you were
no,
Irish.
it's very bright in Australia, so you're blind.
Yeah, constant
Anyway.
squint. Yeah.
So we own stereotypically a small corner store, right? So of course we sell like groceries and stuff in the store and whatnot, and we were selling. We have DVDs there as well, yeah. So
Right.
it was in Alberta, Canada, and Alberta, Canada is kind of like, in my opinion, it's like a soft core Texas. So what
Right.
happened is this guy walks in. He's an old guy, tough-looking guy in a cowboy hat, and he buys, his beers and he buys whatever, and he goes to the movie rack and he sees a movie there, and he takes the movie and he puts the beer down, puts the stuff down. It's Brokeback Mountain, right?
Right.
It has cowboys on the front, so I think
Yeah.
in his head it's gonna be a cowboy movie. So the next day he comes back to the store with the DVD in his hand and throws it on the table and goes, "Fucking fag cowboys!" And then
Oh.
I was like, he didn't even want his money back, but it was a lot of good.
That's a good
adventure.
movie. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, but if you weren't expecting it, if you were expecting
No,
Red Dead Redemption,
It's a graphic movie that if you're not
It's
expecting it to turn out that way, then you're.
there's a handsome man.
I didn't realize it was going to go quite that way, Hans. But yeah, I will. Moving
I'm
on.
sorry. I would have been giggling the whole time he was buying it because it's like, you don't know what you just bought, did you?
I should have
Okay,
said
let's see
something,
you
but
tomorrow.
if I was there, my father would have slapped me. No, he spend money. Let him spend the money.
Well, yeah, I'm a big Western fan. I've been going back and watching a lot of the John Wayne stuff, as well as enjoying the new series called Billy the Kid. That's doing. I love Young Guns and Young Guns too. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. And my older kids, they still watch it today, and they'll let me know if they've seen it or if they're watching it. And they still quote some of those lines back to me in our group text. But yeah, I really love. Yep, Spinetix agrees. Westerns rule. They do. Is anyone else here a fan of Westerns?
Yeah, my grandpa was.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, just when VCRs first came out, we bought him one for Christmas or something, and the first thing he did was go and rent all these old westerns, and you watched them with him. I think Gunsmoke was one of them. The TV series he loved, and
Yeah.
Rifleman too. That was the one that we watched a lot of.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen a bit of Spinetix doesn't own Brokeback Mountain though. That's a shame. It is a good movie, regardless of your opinion. But it's it's a good movie. You guys should also check out Spinetix too. Spinetix does live videos that will go all day. It's a marathon.
As the audience is so cultured, I just discovered something recently, and I don't know if perhaps you know, but you've ever heard of a series, and they're about an hour long, maybe a little longer, called Sharps Rifles or Sharps Company or Sharps with a young Sean Bean.
No. Oh, actually,
And takes place during the Napoleonic Wars.
I have seen clips of that
Sharps
recently.
Company.
Sharps Company,
Yeah.
Sorry, I misheard you.
I've never seen anything so macho in my, and it's young Sean Bean, so he's doing that thing where he's like, what does a good soldier need, Sharp? And I was told a good soldier can fire 4 rounds in a minute, and it's very, military kind of thing. It's
4 rounds.
Well, it's a musket, so it's like,
yeah. It's just hilarious by today's standards.
in those days, 4 rounds
Well,
was like automatic.
By today's standards, the show wouldn't be allowed to be made. You can't have anyone being in any way macho and heroic, stirring the
Right.
audience. No.
the funny thing is, like, there are like 9 of them, and he actually meets a Spanish girl, and she's very, she's a proper woman, so she wants to, she's a fighter fighting against Napoleon and his men and stuff like that. But she's also, a woman, and that's an interesting thing. There's like a lot of people don't understand that women are powerful in their own right. And when they embrace their own power, that's what actually makes them wonderful characters in books and whatnot. You don't reject femininity, accept masculinity, and then become a great character. It's your femininity. That's what made you unique to start with, which is if it didn't segue off into something like Avengers, right? So the idea that the Black Widows, all of Natasha Romanoff's crew, and their wombs are removed. That's a fantastic aspect because it's very Macbeth, yeah? Unsex me here, remove my sexuality so that I can be as cruel as a man. And I don't know, you can dig pretty deep into it. And I like the fact that they would remove the womb because it really does render them almost into men, which is a fantastic kind of parallel to the way
psychologically also must detach themselves from being a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all had our moments where we've done. Never mind. Moving on. But I like that concept. I like the idea. So that's the thing with today's it's like not every female action hero has to be like macho and just over the top. I tried to, but I couldn't get through it. The latest Terminator movie. What was that one called?
Genesis.
Is it?
Derp Fate. No, it's Derp Fate.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, right. Yes. That one. And
Arnold interior decorating.
Right. You watch the first. Right. So you watch the first Terminator, and Sarah Connor is appropriate, right? She's appropriate for that moment where she's never been in that situation before, and she's not exactly a pushover. She finds strength, but she finds strength in the journey. And then you get to Terminator 2, and you see what that has done to her. And she's now that she's come to a point where she's appropriately now ready to take on the Terminator. And then it feels like it's more earned, and it's more believable.
Absolutely.
But now it's like
despite that, she never lost the fact that she was a mother. She was hardcore, but she was doing it all for her son, which is
right.
Anybody who's got a wife knows that they'll eat people for their kids,
I don't know how valid my opinion is because I'm male, but as a male watcher of 80s action movies, I always felt like that was a little bit more. It just seemed more believable. I'm not saying that things like Arnold Schwarzenegger's action movies are believable by that standard either, but then that sort of started to die down. You got the Die Hard movies, where that became more of a believable action hero. It's still outlandish, and probably would have been killed many times in real life had he been in that situation for real. But it's not muscle bound and impossible to kill. It's just good thinking and tactics, and more of a believable action hero rather than the buff action hero. But I still like Arnie and Sylvester Stallone and all of those. Don't get me wrong. And how did we get onto this? Anyway,
topic. There's nothing wrong with it. You segued from Brokeback Mountain.
Sure. Well, yes. We're going to move away from that one. I don't mind talking about Brokeback Mountain, but there's certain terminologies I was not expecting to hear at the Slaughterhouse.
I said sorry about that, but it was.
No, it's all good.
If I dulled it down, I don't think the joke would have hit as well. Delivered by a dude who was born in the 40s, obviously.
Well, obviously, true. So, there's quite a bit of TV to be had these days. Has anyone been watching Stranger Things?
Not yet, no.
I work in a school. I see Stranger Things every day.
All right, yeah. So
I have
I won't give...
seen any of them. I just have not seen any of them. I hear
I
good
really
things.
enjoy the series. I enjoy the series. I won't give any spoilers out or anything, but I enjoy the series, and I think I've enjoyed each series a little bit less and less. Like I really liked the first series of Stranger Things, but in this last one, and I won't give away anything that happens in it, but there's a song that is in it by Kate Bush called "Running Up That Hill," and that
Yes.
song has just been it's in Stranger Things,
Oh.
and it's been stuck in my head on repeat since I saw that episode, and it just I've had to play it, like literally play it, so that because I thought maybe it's a great song, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe if I just play it and listen to it and hear it, it'll satisfy me, and then it'll be done. But it's like
Exercise the beast.
Yeah, I've heard that song on the radio, and
Right.
I needed to. I didn't know what it was. I needed to find it because it kept playing in my head.
Yeah, right.
It's like one of those
So,
songs.
Had you not heard it before?
No, the first time I heard it.
Okay, yeah. Kate Bush is such a
When
great
I-
artist.
When I was a kid growing up in the UK, special weekend this weekend, by the way. That's why I'm drinking.
True.
Is it the Queen's
But when I was
Jubilee?
growing up, that's what it certainly is. So happy Jubilee
Cheers.
weekend, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, there was a kids show. There was a kids show back in the 80s on British TV. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. But the theme tune was "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush. So whenever I hear that song, I think of that show. And the interesting thing is, it was kind of like a mystery kind of action show with a young girl as the lead. It was a female lead, and you know,
Okay.
I think that's kind of the
Murder, She
difference
Wrote.
between.
That's
Sorry?
what it was. That's what it was.
Oh right. But yeah, I think if you look at the sort of the action films and TV shows we had back then, you did have a lot of very feminine female characters, but they were
Right.
still tough.
Yeah.
If you think
Ripley.
it
Good
wasn't
example.
a kids show, but if you exactly Alien, Total Recall, the girl from Running Man, Predator.
Right. Yeah.
Predator 2. I'm glad they only made 2 Predator films. If they'd have made any more than that, they would have just become terrible and they would have ruined it.
Ruined.
Amen.
It would have been ruined.
It was a
I'm trying to find where they used that song or TV show you were talking about.
funny enough. If you, I don't. This is another segue, but onto the same female characters. Has anyone ever seen the Pound Puppies movie?
The Pound Puppies had a movie?
Fair enough. You're allowed to say that. But yes, the Pound Puppies had a movie. But there was a female character in that movie who was once again a mother. Yeah. And she kind of plays a very major role in the entirety of the film. I'm not even going to go into the details because who here really wants to hear about the story of the Pound Puppies movie? But anyway, and
I'm intrigued.
I was going to
She
say, it
just-
sounds interesting.
she
Yeah.
displayed all the. Okay, so long story short, there was like a poison basically that was infecting all the Pound Puppies, and it turned them from peaceful puppies into like these big mean monsters. And she had
Oh,
three
no.
little. She had 3 little.
Not
had
the Pound Puppies.
She had 3 puppies. These are her kids. And so she spends the whole movie pretty much protecting them from this poison.
This is
So-
madness.
so are you sure you weren't watching an episode of Breaking Bad by chance? And just thought
No,
it was
I'm making it, I'm telling it down a lot. I'm bigging it up a lot. One of the two. Anyway, and so eventually at the very end, she sacrifices herself and becomes infected by the poison and turns into this big monster. And it's basically the puppies left alone.
Great. After the Joburg podcast, I have to watch Rescue Rangers, and now I got to watch the Pound Puppies. This is great.
What the?
So the puppies end up as like, and there's this horrible moment I remember as a child, where not as a child actually, I was kind of old, but anyway. And so the mother's turned into this monster, and she's snarling and there's spit, and she looks like one of the aliens from Aliens, and she's
Right.
about to kill these dogs. And eventually the
Wow.
puppies are crying, and it's very emotional. And eventually one of the little puppies goes and puts his little paw on her big claw and goes, "Mommy, don't do it. I love you." And I'm a teenager and I'm weeping at this point.
Is this animated?
It is animated. It's animated.
This
But
is
of
messed
course,
up. This is
when
a
she
fever
hears
dream.
The words "I love you," the power of love turns her back into the normal thing, and and it goes up from there. But it was very emotional. Come say hello to all the strange people Daddy talks to. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Don't watch the Pound Puppies. Whatever you do, it'll give you nightmares.
Oh, she'll watch it. Don't worry. I showed her Big Hero 6 the other day, and
That's a great movie too.
I
I think Pound Puppies must have been a fever dream for you, Hans. There's no way that's the Pound Puppies.
Look, you're gonna go and download it, and the bone of scone, or the bone of scone. That is the only clue I'm giving you, and at that point
The
you'll know.
bone of scone.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
not down. I'm not googling the bone of scone. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that.
On puppies, then bone of scone, then you'll get it.
All right, hang on. We got a question from Michael Reed. Michael Reed asks, well, first of all, Michael Reed says, "Hello, I enjoyed his role in G.I. Joe, the cartoon series, talking about Sergeant Slaughter." Yes, same here, buddy.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hello, do you know how he is doing now?" I do. I just spent 4 hours with him last night, recording a different episode, and he's doing very well. So keep an eye out for that. You can also catch a lot of Sarge content over at the Slaughter Daughter official channel as well. So between here and there, you got a lot of Sarge stuff to catch up on. But yes, he's doing well, doing very well. Too well.
He's got
if
so
anything.
many
Very
great
suspicious.
stories.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So we spent 4 hours with him last night, and the time went by so quickly. It didn't feel like it was 4 hours. Space Commander faked having internet problems and just dropped out because he just couldn't be bothered anymore. But yeah, no, it was a great hangout. This guy can tell a story. He's he could start something that a story that you think is going to be, maybe a minute or two long, and then it just keeps going, and everything leads on to the next thing, and the length. By the time you get to the end of it, you've forgotten what the original point was. But then he hits that point. And it's like that was a journey to get there, but it was just it's thrilling, enthralling. I'm going to divide that recording up into maybe 3 episodes because it's too long a slog to sit down and watch the whole thing. But I'll make a special 3-episode series out of it. It's too good.
It's
Too
only
good
a
to miss.
slog if you're weak.
Well, yeah, I mean, I sat through the whole thing. Even Sarge dropped out at one point. He'd had enough of his own stories. His battery on his phone cut out, and then that's what he says. But he jumped back in. So good on him. But it was a fun hangout.
He would have known Vince McMahon when he was a child.
Yeah. So when he started in the WWF, it was McMahon Senior.
Yeah.
And then he
So
came
he
in.
would have met Mini Vince.
Well, I don't know how many he was, but
He would have been a teenager, probably
yeah.
late teens, early 20s.
because didn't Vince find his dad later in years? Like he didn't know his father when he was a kid, and then just showed up one day. I don't know the full story, but I know he showed up after the fact and then inherited his business in the end. So imagine that. Imagine being a fan of wrestling and then finding out that Vince McMahon Sr. is your dad.
Well,
Here we go.
In his 70s too, and I know that Sarge is in that range too. So
They might have been similar.
Do you know what the G.I. Joe character Serpentor was based upon? Michael Reed asks. Well, I mean, I guess every single dictator ever. I know that he's. Can you list off every bit of DNA that they used? I know that they wanted
Brian,
to use
go.
Sergeant Slaughter's.
yeah, I knew you were going to say that to me. Alexander,
Go.
Come on.
Good.
Napoleon,
Napoleon,
Genghis Khan,
Vlad the Impaler,
yes, or Zhenzhou, the Chinese.
Sun Tzu,
Yeah.
Ivan the Terrible.
Yep. Sergeant Slaughter in the cartoon.
Well, they
And the
tried.
comic
They
book
tried.
Storm Shadow.
Right.
I think there was a lot more that didn't
Who
even
was the
name.
one from the desert? Because I went
That
on
was-
biomes.
Thought that was
Gaz, you can use Google. It's all right. We wouldn't be able to tell.
There was one. The graveyard one was Vlad the Impaler. The snow
Right.
was Ivan the Terrible. The Great Wall was Sun Tzu. Storm Shadow,
Napoleon
of course.
was-
Napoleon
thinking-
was the city. Yeah,
wasn't
The
wasn't
underwater-
Alexander the Great buried
Yeah.
in like Egypt?
it was
Yeah,
Alexander.
so that would be Alexander the Great.
That's right. And I think that's
I didn't use Google for that.
No,
there were
I know you didn't.
There were others that they
So imagine
did.
having-
I think I think it has,
Go
bro. When they were coming up with new characters, I think they got the idea from Conan the Barbarian. I think that's right. You know,
Right.
the character played by James Earl Jones.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Just like
although his character, yeah, I know, even though that character like literally becomes a snake, and Serpentor does not literally become a snake. Well, not until later.
Well, he does in the end.
Yeah, and the
No,
Deep
that's Cobra
series.
Commander.
But
No,
No, no,
Serpentor-
Serpentor becomes a snake.
Oh, that's
in
right,
the-
yeah.
He becomes an
the Deke
iguana.
series.
Dragonfire.
Oh,
Right?
is it an
Yeah, in the-
iguana? Does he become an
yeah,
iguana?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah,
makes
he's
no
got, like,
sense at all.
legs.
No, it doesn't.
For some reason, I thought he turned into.
Welcome to the Deke series.
Yeah.
They also used the Pythonizing ray on him, and it turned him into an iguana. It turned all the other vehicles into snake stuff, but turned him into an iguana. So
No way, Gaz. Google that. That doesn't make sense. Deke is.
No,
Deke
it's
is
true.
awful.
It's true. It's true.
No, tell me it's.
No,
tell me
it's
not
true.
true.
They use the power that they used to power that whatever they found to power that ray. The Baroness turned Cobra Commander back into semi-man form, and then he used that ray that turned everything into Python. No, Hans's ray turned him into a
Damn
iguana. Now he's somebody's pet.
So how
that
bad? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because they put him in. So how bad is that? That your name is Serpentor, you're literally known to be looking like a cobra, and then they turn you into an iguana. That is an absolute just insult. Insult. Not even good enough to be a snake.
I think maybe if they turned him into like one of those what do you call them? Something dragon. Those huge.
Oh,
I
Komodo.
forget what they're called.
Komodo dragon.
Yeah, and then have like that as like Cobra Commander's like attack pet. That would be
That would
sweet.
have been all right. I don't think it would have been able to. I think turn him into an oxalotl.
When, Renegade's cartoon for Joe, Serpentor was Cobra Commander's pet snake.
All right,
Really?
let me bring that up.
God.
Let me bring that up.
What is that?
With a very weird face.
Yeah, that's got sort of like the cobra looking.
Yeah.
If
Is
you
it
guys
two
ever seen
vipers behind?
Weird Science
And he
with
became-
was it Michael Logan Hall or something where with Kelly McGillis, was it? No, not Kelly McGillis.
Kelly
Kelly
LeBrock.
Seagal. Kelly LeBrock. Yeah.
Yes. And they
Sure,
turned
it's
Chet
Steven
into whatever that is. That's what Serpentor
Pile
is.
of poop. That's what they turned him into, is a big pile of poop.
Yeah, that's the Deke series.
Yeah.
That
Pile of
was the
poop.
real power. Yeah.
Serpentor wasn't bad in the comics, though. Funny enough, I thought he was okay in the comics.
Well, everybody's okay in the comics, right? Is there any real bad character from the comics? If you can't think of one straight off the top of your head, that's good writing from Larry Hama.
It's true.
If you can't think of one character off the top of your head, I mean, maybe there is, but
Every speaking of Larry Hama, every time I'm online, I always say this. I'm hoping one day it reaches back to Larry. One day I'm going to find him and get him to autograph my Tunnel Rat figure.
right.
I
Yeah.
want
yeah.
to find out why that character is Trinidadian.
Oh,
Find
yes.
out why that character is from Trinidad. You know? And what's funny is, like, as we were talking about the Dick series, I saw Ryan do the face of the act. You know, they kind of, when I see you next year at Joe Fest, I'll be there. I'll hug you. It'll be good. We'll hug it out.
The
Right.
only thing worse than Deke
Hug it
is
out for
Sigma
Deke.
6. So
As well.
is the Sigma 6. I tried to watch that and I'm like, no, can't do it.
What about Sergeant Savage? Did you watch any of that?
There's only one.
That wasn't bad, but it was like it wasn't G.I. Joe though. It felt more like
G.I.
Captain
Yeah.
America.
What about G.I.
Oh,
Joe
it was
Extreme?
exactly like Captain America.
What
But
about
it
G.I.
had
Joe
Hawk
Extreme?
and Lady J in it, right? And Doc, I believe.
Yeah.
But the whole being frozen and all of that stuff, I'm like, this is Captain America.
Oh, it's a total ripoff. Yeah.
What about G.I. Joe Extreme?
No.
Oh no.
No?
The action figures are not extreme enough. They're like, remove the articulation and call that extreme.
I always used to say they had so many muscles, that's why they couldn't move. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah. Even that's too articulated for extreme, mate.
I was
we're
going to
so
say
extremely dysflex. That's it.
the
Yeah.
Super 7 reaction line has more articulation than G.I. Joe Extreme.
True.
I can't get behind that line. Sorry. I like that they look like the Sumbo series, but the
Yeah.
fact that it's 5 points, it's like no, sorry. I'm not
They
spending
do look
$20.
good, though. They do look good. They look appropriate to the cartoon, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that Quinn figure looks great. Just Destro looks great. Even the green shirts and the Cobra Troopers look pretty cool. If you're going to have them just lined up in a diorama somewhere, that'd be all right.
Yeah, but $20 a pop.
Yeah,
If they
That's
released the Shock
super-
Trooper in proper articulated form, I'd buy a load of those guys. Those look great. The Shock Trooper.
But I think this Joe line is the first in that reaction series where they have it where you can do more troop building because everything else has just been what they've licensed for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And with Super 7, it's like they have X price points that they put all their figures in. It's just that's how they run the company. So
They're doing the 7-inch line too, right?
yes.
The Sumbo series.
Super
Those
7,
look good, but then again, those are like $50 a whack.
Are they?
I can't do so many
Yeah.
scales.
Oh.
Pick a scale.
Yeah, right.
But they look good too. They do look good.
Hmm.
Super 7, which was the one that's really bad for breaking?
Oh, that's
NECA.
NECA.
NECA, right? Yeah.
But it's really how you handle it. If you go in there with hammer hands, you're probably gonna break it. You gotta be gentle with it. Use a little warm water. You're good.
Oh, yeah.
And
All right,
NECA's go ahead. I was gonna say NECA's more for collectors. A lot of them like to keep those in boxes.
Yeah,
And so-
like a Funko Pop, right?
yeah.
Wow. You want to talk? Funko.
All right, here's a question for us.
That's a very gut reaction. Funko. Put it down, guys.
I used to
Don't
have a
eat
ton of
again.
them. I used to have a ton of them because it was the aesthetic of them, and then I just got tired of them.
Yeah, you fell for it. You fell for the gimmick, and then
Well,
you wised up.
you had things that like you couldn't get anywhere else, like certain style of. I'm not gonna call them figures because they're not figures.
No.
But you see Robbie the Robot, and you're like, I need that because it's Robbie the Robot. You know, you see that and you want it. You see what is it?
The best one I've seen is My Pet Monster Funko Pop. That thing looks incredible. The box
I
looks
found
cool.
a Jack Burton. I was like, how can you turn down Jack Burton?
Yeah.
You know?
I got a Sarge one naturally.
Yeah.
So Classified asks, what episode / character would you change the most in G.I. Joe? Well, the episode I would change is turning Serpentor into an iguana. And the character I'd change is Serpentor into a snake. What about you guys?
I'd have them be a little more respectful to Falcon.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't
After
have.
the movie.
But the movie was okay. That was character building. But then the Dick series, good going Dick. They turned him into a drug addict. I was like, come on.
Well,
Come
I kind of question the movie because I mean he's a Green Beret. He's not going to act like that,
Right.
right? He's not going to be like that. He's not going to be bringing some girl to some high facility, security facility to go see Serpentor.
I'd bring Zorana anywhere she wanted.
Yeah.
But you don't know that's Serrano.
That's Zorana.
I would do the same, but you don't know that's Serrano.
I'm not wearing a green beret.
True enough.
You and I know that we would both take Zorana anywhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
How did Mainframe get that?
I don't know, but I
He
ended
got
up.
it by being normal because everybody in her life is a freak. So by nature,
know, right?
normal people would be. She's like, "Oh my gosh, he's so white bread. I need it." Oh, and he's older too. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's old. He's a statesman. Yeah, that's right.
Stable job, great. Give me that.
You mean Zorana has daddy issues, so she went after the oldest guy? Just saying.
Yeah,
Don't
the older guy.
Don't say that.
Proper
Ken,
Mainframe.
Good evening to you, sir.
Hey, Ken.
You've come into a very interesting part of the conversation. Zorana and her psychological issues.
Hopefully, I'm not on a delay or anything. I've booted up my new Chromebook, so hopefully it works okay, and I'm not on a 30-second delay or anything silly like that.
Everyone be quiet for 30 seconds.
I was going to say he can join me on the he can join me on the delay crew.
Yeah, I did see a prank that a bunch of people tried one time where everyone pretended they were on a delay just to mess with one guy, and everyone pretended their screen froze. But then somebody had like their fan circling in the background. They're like, "I can see your fan circling. I can tell you're just pretending to be delayed." So
you got to commit to it. You've got a rival here, Ken.
have I?
I'm coming for you, Hitman. I'm coming for you very soon.
You want
Here
a
we go.
piece of the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's what you want. You want a piece of that.
Truth,
Even
justice, and honor. All for the greatest country in the world, Canada. It's
Hold
time
up.
to take the Hitman and the crew out.
I'm gonna put this on the line just to give you incentive to
No.
to
Title on the line.
I'm gonna put this on the line. Wait a minute. Wait, if I lose, do I have to mail this to Ryan?
Yes, exactly.
Better hide it. Better hide it.
He's down. Ken will be back.
Hey guys, what I miss? What I miss? What I miss?
So, does anyone else have a character that they think they would change? Other than
The first character that pops into my mind is going to be
Chuckles.
all right, Chuckles. Chuckles is
No.
one.
Don't let me sway you.
Oh, what's his name? Metalhead. I don't like the way he is in the Deke series.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't like the way he is. Him, actually, you know what? There'd be two. One from the Deke and one from the Sunbow. Bazooka from the Sunbow. I don't like
I
him
love
the way they portray him.
He's so precious.
Yeah,
If they're not very smart or what?
well, he. If you read his file card, it's completely opposite.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So as a kid, I thought he was great because it's comedy. But as I'm older and I'm looking at him, like this guy's a lot smarter than he is in the portrayed.
Yeah.
So those are the two characters, and the other one, Metalhead. That was such an annoyance for me watching that. I wanted to watch it because I wanted to watch the series because I'd never seen it before. And I'm like, episode after episode, I'm like, oh, and if his grandma shows up again, I'm gonna get angry.
Yeah.
As soon as it was over, I was just like, oh, thank the stars, it's done. Don't need to watch it again.
Yeah, that was his character was poorly done.
Yeah.
But then you could say that about just about any character from the Deke series.
I expected him to be like Scrap Iron, like
Right.
Scrap Iron in the first series where he's just like a henchman, and he's like the comic relief, and
Mm.
boom, boom. I'm like, no, I couldn't take it anymore.
He's a comic relief, but he's not bringing the comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was
Not
kind of
to
an ass in the comics.
not to mention that stupid football game with the tanks.
Oh,
I'm
that one,
sorry.
Pigskin Commandos.
Oh God. Isn't that they? I want to say, didn't they kidnap like
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Slaughter's sister?
No.
In
The
that?
Sergeant Slaughter.
sister is in it, but Sarge gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Sarge puts his sister to bed and then goes to investigate a noise downstairs, and then gets kidnapped by not the Saw Viper,
Range Viper.
Range Viper.
So
Yeah.
it took like the entire Cobra army to get him in Sunbow, and it's one guy.
With
No,
the
it's
snake
dudes.
thing, yeah.
A bunch of dudes. Less
A
than
bunch
enough.
of dudes.
Yeah,
No
it was
wonder
less than
Sarge turned down America after being in the Deke series. I wouldn't want to be there either. I'd totally go.
No wonder I retired.
Yeah. He got tied up with ribbon and then sent on a wild goose chase around the city. That's pretty bad.
Ridiculous.
At one point, he's tied up, and then he's on the back of a horse with Captain Gridiron, I believe. And then Captain Gridiron goes down into the subway, throws Sarge onto the train, still tied up, and then waits until he brings Sarge back up onto street level before he's going to untie him. And then he gets kidnapped again. Just untie him while you're undercover, mate.
So
Yeah.
No.
It's
I'm sorry. No, I can't.
Hey, you don't have to be sorry. It's one of those episodes. It's a guilty pleasure for me because that whole scene with on horseback just reminds me of the old westerns where it would just be some ridiculous stuff like the old black and white ones. The Poverty Row westerns where they didn't have a lot of money, so they just did anything that they could for the budget they had. And it seems really low budget, that whole scene. But yeah, I enjoy it for that.
I can see that. And speaking of westerns, my favorite westerns, because you asked it earlier, is spaghetti westerns, especially the Clint Eastwood ones. I don't know if there's any other ones, but those are the ones that I love. Those Fistful of Dollars, High Plains Drifter, all those are great.
Oh yeah. So Clint Eastwood. What about Once Upon a Time in the West? Such a great movie. Such a great opening.
Yep.
With the sound of the
Is it the one with Charles Bronson?
Yes.
He's whistling all the time. Yeah, that's a great
Well,
one.
he's got the harmonica.
Henry Fonda is the bad guy.
Yeah, and I believe that was the first time he'd ever portrayed a villain.
One hell of a bad guy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
You know, what's a guilty pleasure for me is The Legend of the Lone Ranger. Have you seen the one from the early 80s? Christopher Lloyd is the bad guy.
I have not
A
seen
lot of people don't like that movie, but I love it.
Lloyd.
Yeah, he plays who's the main bad guy in the Lone Ranger or something? I forget his name. It's like Colonel something.
Have to go back. That Christopher Lloyd?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a younger Christopher Lloyd.
I'll check it out. That and
Christopher Lloyd can be quite scary.
Yeah,
he can be a scary villain. He was the Klingon Commander Krug in Star Trek 3.
That's right, he was. Yeah.
He scared the hell out of us when we were kids. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. He was also a villain in go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
He was also supposed to be Freddy Krueger.
Was
that right?
He was.
I can see it.
He didn't get the part, obviously, but he was supposed to be.
He was one of the bad guys in Buckaroo Banzai.
Yep.
You guys seen that?
Oh, yeah.
I think he was like John Big Booty. That was his name.
Yep.
Righto. I didn't realize that he was the bad guy in Roger Rabbit until I was a bit older.
The judge.
I did not put him as Doc Brown from Back to the Future as a kid. The differences are so stark that I could not place them as the same person. It blew my mind when I got older that I realized I started reading who's in the movies, like in the credits.
Mm.
Back when I was calling him Christopher Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yeah, 2 L's.
Killer Lloyd. I love it. It's great.
So, Mountie, have you got a character that you would change or an episode that you'd change?
It would be Serpentor to not
Yeah.
make him be so buffoonish in the Sunbow series. To match him up a little bit more to the comic book series. And, you know, the rivalry they created with him and Sarge was good, but he just seemed like a wrestling bad guy that you knew Sarge was going to beat up. I wanted him to be the true military leader that Cobra needed, since Cobra Commander was
Right.
the moron.
Space Commander, have you given your opinion yet?
Not specifically one character. I'd probably just like to put some of the Palatoy characters in there, just sprinkle them throughout liberally.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
If anyone hasn't seen the shows that Zazel and I've been doing, I'll try and give you the quick version. Palatoy had their own series of figures called Action Force. Alfred Pallet, who ran the company, he sadly died, and the company was broken up and sold off. And the department that made the Action Force figures was bought by Hasbro, or by the company that owned Hasbro.
Right.
And at that point, they were looking to introduce G.I. Joe to like Britain, Europe, and other areas around the world where Palatoy was sold. And rather than sort of release G.I. Joe in competition against Action Force, which wouldn't make any sense, they just instead took the G.I. Joe figures and put them in Action Force packets. So that's kind of how the merge took place, the quick version of it. I think sometimes people get the wrong idea and think, oh, wait a minute, the British have taken our classic American hero and turned him into something else. But that isn't how it happened at all. It was Hasbro buying up Palatoy because it happened. But as little children, we didn't know any of this. As far as we knew, all these new characters coming over were part of the same story and part of the same mythos as the Palatoy figures that we already had. So when you then start to get the G.I. Joe media coming through and none of the characters we knew are in it, it felt very strange to us as little children. Nowadays, of course, now that we know the full story, you can understand why it happened. But to see some of those so-called Action Force cartoons, it was just G.I. Joe repackaged, which is basically what they did with the figures. But to see those cartoons called Action Force, but not have any of the earlier characters in it, that was very strange for us little kids at the time. So if I could magically just sprinkle some of the Palatoy characters in there, not take over the show or anything, but just have them in there as part of the team, I think that would have been something pretty cool to see.
When the cartoons, did they dub them over with British accents, or were they all still American? So did Duke have a British accent? Flint sound like he was from,
They did.
Yeah, that was the weird thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Zazel and I were talking about it. Sorry about the delay, everybody. But Zazel and I were talking about it recently. From the file cards on the back of the packets, and from the comic books, the British comics, Battle Action Force, all the characters had like international backgrounds, international accents and backstory, different nationalities. So then to watch those characters in the TV show, which had been produced specifically for the American market, it was kind of confusing because we'd always been told that Flint was British, Recondo was Australian, Ripcord was English as well. Destro, who had previously been Red Jackal, and prior to that had been a member of Action Force, he was Russian, Anton Novikov. He was in a terrible accident, captured by the bad guys, the Red Shadows at the time, and turned into a cyborg called Red Jackal. And then later on, he became Destro. So to then go to the cartoon and he's not Russian anymore. He's now Scottish, but doesn't have a Scottish accent. That was very strange.
Right.
He doesn't
Yeah.
even have a Scottish accent. He's like, I don't know what
No,
accent that
he
is.
is African American
No.
sounding because that's
Yeah.
the
Yes,
voice actor
I think
who
it was
did
Arthur Burkhart.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think he's going to be
which
a
he
Joe
did a
Fest.
wonderful job, but he had no Scottish accent. And you're like, wait,
Right.
what? Hans, it
definitely-
was so bad. They just cut out when they would say "Yo, Joe," and it would be somebody who just go full force, and then it was the rest of the episode in the regular Sunbow series that was released in the States. I mean, we think Deke
Right.
was bad. What happened
So they-
with Action Force? I apologize for.
They had to change Sergeant Slaughter to Sergeant Slammer, and instead of dubbing all his lines, they just dub the portions of it where he's
Little
referred
pieces.
to as Sergeant Slammer, and instead of saying "Yo Joe," he'll say "Full Force." But so you'll hear Sergeant Slaughter's regular voice up until a point, and then it'll change over to this other actor that sounds. I mean, they must be doing their best, but it sounds nothing like him. And then if a
No,
character is
you can-
referring to Sergeant Slaughter, they will redub that voice to say Sergeant Slammer, and then
Yeah,
we're
having
missing someone. Who are we missing?
Yeah, that bit where the bit where Sarge is trying to order Falcon back to the slaughterhouse. That's always kind of amusing because of he's telling him to you're gonna be in a ditty bag, an itty bitty ditty bag, and then all of a sudden he's like, get back to the slammer house. It's a totally different voice.
That was actually a pretty good impression.
I was going to say, I definitely would have liked to seen the red shadows sprinkled in there. That would be cool.
Yeah, Kelly will be jumping on very shortly. She had other errands to attend to first, but yeah, she will be jumping on. We're actually missing a couple of members, and yeah, Kelly as well, but she will be joining us.
And as much as I like Zorana, definitely need Quarrel in there.
Oh,
yes.
of course.
Coral and the Ram
So
cycle.
Quarrel was Scarlet though, wasn't she?
Yeah, but Quarrel's
Quarrel
cool.
is quarrel.
I saw
Thank you.
Quarrel
Thank
over
you,
it.
Hans.
Yeah, I found Blood for the Baron, the website, and just going through some of the comics that you guys had and the advertisements. I mean, the posters that were out there for Action Force, it felt like they were movie posters. The marketing was genius.
Yeah,
And the
Yeah.
toys, even with the 5 point of articulation, just the toys themselves, the different teams, it was like, this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. So I'm sorry that we had to
Maybe it's because
co-op your-
I'm a little bit.
Go ahead, sir.
Commander.
Sorry. Sorry about the delay, folks. Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm a little bit older than you guys, when I was a kid, 5 points of articulation, even 3 points of articulation was the norm. So
Yeah.
whenever I think of an action figure, that's what I tend to think of. I know that for the younger guys, the more points of articulation is what you're going for. But I mean, just recently, I picked up some of the Spin Master DC Comics characters, and there's 3 points of articulation, and I really like them. They remind me of when I was a kid. The sculpts are great; they're not broken up by too many joints. But maybe it's just a generational thing. But I like those 5 points and 3 points of articulation.
Well, yeah, I
guess
mean,
I'm
we
just
grew
an
up
old
with
dude.
Star Wars, and they were 5 points of articulation, and no one seemed to mind that. Yeah, they fit in just fine with me. I liked the Robin Hood figures that were based on some Star Wars and DC lines. So they didn't. I didn't have a lot of the DC characters. I was more of a Marvel kid, so I didn't really get a lot of them. I remember having the Flash because I liked his TV show, but I didn't really have I didn't really have a Superman. I didn't really have a Batman or anything like that. But yeah, 5 points of articulation never bothered me. But I think I was going to say about Action Force, a Palatoy Action Force, when their original, which I found later, their original toy commercials, they leaned really heavy into the military aspect of it, like super heavy into it. Almost too real, if anything. it's not cartoonish. It's like almost like a
People died.
right. It's like propaganda.
Stayed dead.
Yeah, the adverts are like a news report. They're saying,
Right.
Another terrorist attack from Baron Ironblood, and today we have a statement from Eagle and Skip about how they're going to deal with it. I love those adverts. And again, not to say anything disparaging about G.I. Joe, because once I discovered G.I. Joe through Action Force, I really got into it and really enjoyed it. But it was quite a contrast to go from reading the Battle Action Force stories, which, as you say, people get killed. It's a war, and sadly, death happens. But to go from reading those comics, and then to even read the Marvel comics, like you say, Larry Hama, kind of a very serious tone. There was some crazy stuff in there, sure, but the overall tone was quite serious. To then go to the cartoon, and you've got what was it? They're testing out the Sky Strikers, and each pilot ejects, and then the dog ejects as well, and they the airplanes the airplanes are now unmanned. No. It's just the sequence of events. Everyone ejects, including the dog. The aircraft now have no pilots, but Flint somehow is I think it was Flint, is flying them by remote control, like 3 or 4 great big F-14 looking Sky Strikers. Our heroes then their intention is to parachute through the clouds, but they never make it through the clouds because inside is Cobra with a flying net. So to go from Battle Action Force, that the early Battle Action Force comics were kind of based roughly on the Falklands War, which was omnipresent in the news in those days. To go from that to the G.I. Joe cartoon was something else. But like I say, once you get used to the tone of it, it's a very enjoyable show. Great characters, great story. Just
as
not
much
quite as hardcore as what we were used to.
Well, that's true. As much as we sometimes shit on Cobra La, which I'm not against Cobra La, mind you. I like elements of Cobra La, not all of it. I like elements of it. But even though G.I. Joe had Cobra La, it's not like Action Force were without their fantastical creatures as well.
The Kraken, yes. Yeah, look at that
Respect
guy.
me, take me seriously.
Isn't he in Star Trek?
That's like the guy saying that's the guy that fought Kirk in Star Trek.
Was that a Gorn?
Yeah,
that's the Gorn. Yeah.
All right, he's gone now. On the nose. I like that he has.
What though? It worked for Red Shadows. It did.
There we go.
You're missing someone. Kelly. There she is.
There we go.
Hello. Hi.
Kelly's got a fan.
She's got a few.
What'd you say?
True. Come in. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're live, by the way, so I
Hey,
can't get you out.
Language.
Yeah. Well, no, Hans has already let out a few slurs, but
did I? That's not true.
Good going, Hans.
Yeah, no, it's not live. There's no proof.
Hello.
Kelly, this is from the top. We've got Demounty, aka Ryan, Space Commander, Ken from Toykennections, Hans Chow, and Gazz X. Or usually it's just Gazz, but he's got fat fingers, so it's Gazz X today.
Hello.
Everyone, this is Slaughter Daughter Kelly Remus.
Hooray!
It's a
What do we
pleasure.
do? Do we clap? I don't remember what the tradition is. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ordinarily, we would clap. Well, when you come in an hour and 5 minutes past, what do they call that? Fashionably late. Fashionably late.
I was going for.
Sorry, I'm late. You're supposed to say thank you for waiting. So thank you for waiting for me.
Yeah, you're welcome. We've done nothing since you got here. We're just waiting.
Definitely weren't talking about certain movies.
No. Kelly, change the subject. Kelly, what have you been up to?
I was at a pool party today.
A cool party. They let you in?
They did. They let me in, and I've already had a few. So
Oh yeah. Was it a
I'm
dinner
gonna
for
really
schmucks?
have to remember it's live.
What are you drinking now? Is that water?
No.
No.
It's from a straw.
Uh-oh.
It can't be that hard, eh?
Kelly's going strong.
It is a Bud Light seltzer
Oh, cool.
In a Sergeant Slaughter cup.
in a Sergeant Slaughter cup.
That's
Final
metal.
points. Final points.
So we were talking
Cheers, Kelly.
about. Oh yeah, cheers.
Cheers, Space Commander.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
We were saying earlier how much your dad can tell a story. For what started out yesterday, what I anticipated to be maybe an hour and a half conversation ended up being nearly 4 hours. At one point, Space Commander dropped out due to technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Sarge dropped out because he talked so much that his phone battery ran out, and then he had to plug back in. I think there was about 5 minutes where he's turning his phone over to try and figure out where to plug his phone in. I'm like, how many sides does your phone have? It's got to be one of these, right? It's just the whole screen just keeps circling around and around.
That reminds me, I meant to plug in my phone.
Oh yes, do that. Sure.
I should have
Also
done that before on.
do check out Kelly's channel, Slaughter Daughter official channel.
Slaughter Daughter.
Oh, we got a junior.
Hi.
Come say hi. Come say hi.
Hi.
We got a few.
Hello.
You know who that is? That's Sergeant Slaughter's daughter. That action figure over there, that's his kid.
But where's his kid?
Right there.
Where's my action figures?
That one right there.
I don't know where his kid.
Go to sleep. Your mommy's calling. Go.
Mini chows.
Close my door. Bye, love. Sorry, that's my panic reaction because I just realized, I mean, I knew who you were, but I ran outside quickly and told my wife that Kelly Rivas is here. And she's like, no way.
So
And she's
so
like,
how do
who's
you call
Kelly
your-
Rivas?
No. She knows who you are because I
Oh.
know your father's work. And she's like, oh, what, really? And I was like, yes. And she's like, are you still putting the kids to bed? I was like, no, you put the kids to bed. I have to be cool. Like, couldn't be cool. I invited my kids in to say hello, and I'm actually cold sweating a little bit. And I'm like, just be cool.
Oh.
It's not working.
Well,
though.
tell your wife hello and thank you for putting the kids to bed for you tonight.
I will definitely.
If you need an excuse not to put your kids to bed, we can just say that we're streaming every night.
I'll be dead before the week's over. You don't want to upset an East Indian woman.
So is anyone watching Kenobi?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're 3 episodes in.
Mhm.
Let's get some opinions.
With no spoilers.
No spoilers. Opinions only. Opinions only.
I'd start, but I'd rather listen to everybody else. That's why I've been relatively quiet this stream because once I get going, I don't stop for a while. So anybody else go first?
I think it's fun. I think it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it is good fun. I think so. So
I'm not a
Go on.
huge Star Wars guy, but I'm really enjoying this series. So for me, that was a win right there.
I didn't realize how much I missed Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi until I started watching the show. And I think unanimously people agree that he's one of the better parts of the prequels, which I never really had a real big issue with the prequels as a whole. There were just certain scenes that I skipped past in the prequels, like that whole running through the field thing and rolling over each other like a classic, what are they, black and white love story. But yeah, I can't get into that.
School, that's what romance looks like. I
Itchy
remember
grass.
with my wife, you know.
Is that what it is? That's where I've gone wrong.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I
Bugs
skip
in your
over it.
hair, you know.
But the everything Ewan McGregor does is good as far as Obi-Wan is concerned in the prequels, in my opinion. And so what's interesting is, and again, no spoilers, but what's interesting is it seems to be a bit of a match with where Luke is in the ruined Star Wars series in his later years, as Obi-Wan is in this series, where they're sort of both, a little bit
Jaded.
Jaded, yes, that's the word. They're both jaded. I feel that Obi-Wan though seems it's more of it's more earned.
Yes.
In Obi-Wan's opinion, like it feels real. Like he would be going through some trauma. We've seen that trauma. We've seen what he's gone through previously, especially in episode 3. Because if you look at episode 1, he's lost his mentor. Episode 2, nothing really specific other than they have that failure at the end against Count Dooku.
Yeah.
And then by episode 3, he's essentially lost his brother, as he says.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't then go on as normal. You've lost all your friends. You've lost all your whole livelihood is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just feels more earned than what happens with Luke, where it's just sort of like you catch up with him later and he's like, I'm not really a Jedi now. I'm disgruntled.
The whole Luke one just seemed really random. With Obi-Wan, you got to bear in mind, he's coming off of not just like, yes, those are his personal losses, but he was a general in the Clone Wars and they lost. All the Jedi wiped out except for a few stragglers from Order 66. All the clones wiped out. The Republic is gone. Not only has he failed, everything he stood for has failed. So this whole jadedness that you get, yes, not only is it earned, it's very organic. Whereas in the sequel trilogy with Luke, it's sort of like, oh, what can we do that's a little different? Let's just ruin the character, or at least in the minds of some people. Some would say that, he still had a fitting end by the end of episode 8. Some would argue that, right? And I do feel like you said the prequel trilogy has aged better than when it came out because of a lot of stuff that's happened in between. You see Ewan McGregor's acting, right? Obi-Wan's whole story, Clone Wars, Rebels, everything that's gone on in between has made the kind of the prequels better in hindsight, you know? And of course, Liam Neeson's acting never ages, right?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson never ages, period. So, yeah.
To me, it felt like Obi-Wan failed as a teacher to Anakin. He failed. Was it Qui-Gon Jinn, whatever? Liam Neeson's
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, he failed as a teacher to Anakin because Anakin turned to the dark side. And then for Luke in the trilogy afterwards, he failed when Kylo turned to the dark side. So I see a lot of that same type of guilt they both carry there.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan's carrying the guilt of actually killing his brother. Not only failing him as a master, like training him as a teacher, but he also killed him. Well, he in his mind, and he thought he killed him.
Right.
Didn't know that he was alive.
And he feels the whole weight of the galaxy was on his shoulders and he let them down. Like that's his feeling. Whereas in Luke's case, he kind of saved the galaxy. So why is he like this? Right?
Right.
Kylo and all. And who is that stranger in the bottom corner? I recognize that name.
Nobody as good looking as Ewan McGregor should be depressed for very long.
Yeah.
Hi, Jody, can you hear us?
It's got to be
greetings,
Jody.
It's
Jody, my man.
Early, it's freaking late.
So Jody,
I said greetings, not early. Greetings.
Jody's got a voice for radio, but he's also a handsome man. So don't let that dissuade you from calling him out for having a voice for radio.
Yeah, normally if I stream, I use green screen, and I'll be honest, I'm currently in my bed. I don't want to fire up. I don't want to fire up the green screen setup at 2:47 a.m.
Well, Jody, you're gonna have to teach me about the green screen, because if these guys saw my screen was fading in and out of my collection earlier. I don't know if you saw that earlier, guys.
Yeah, I saw it. I tried to ignore
because
it.
I was trying to figure out how to put the green screen, and then I would just disappear, and then it would be just the green screen. Then I take out the green screen, and it'd just be me there. And I'm sitting there in my head going, "Frickin' Jody, if he were here, he would tell me exactly what to do." And then suddenly you showed up. So,
Well, to be honest, the whole purpose of me actually investing in green screen and looking into this, because I got jealous of all these guys having amazing backdrops of their toys and their displays.
Right.
I live in a very, very small house. My toy collection is actually sitting up on the shelf, and behind me on my monitor, there's just a purple wall. So yeah, I tried to make it a bit more interesting.
Maybe I need a green screen too. Then I've just got my lounge room behind me.
yeah,
But,
I'm trying to figure out how to green screen off of StreamYard, and it's like, can't get it.
So I'm actually using 3 different pieces of software to actually achieve this. I'm using OBS Studio.
Okay.
Because OBS Studio actually has some really decent chroma keying. I'm using Voice Meter for my audio because I'm using different inputs and outputs.
Right.
I use StreamYard for streaming.
Okay.
But yeah, green screening, it's very, very tricky.
Okay, good.
It looked good today. You had Cybertron behind you. It looked awesome.
So
Okay.
one of the major keys, if you want to do green screening, is lighting.
Yeah, okay.
Lighting, and it needs to be white light.
Gotcha.
I see. Okay. So it's not just me being too stupid to figure out StreamYard and doing
it's
things
not
like
that light above you.
Where is he gone? Where is he gone?
doing things like this, and then I'm like
Look your head
kind of
through.
back in and
Lean forward a little. There it is.
Oh, there he is.
right. See,
Oh,
Keep it going, Ken. Don't stop. Keep it going.
I gotta stop
I
shaking.
didn't realize that it was. I didn't realize that it's because StreamYard's green screen thing doesn't work very well. I thought it was just me, fucking around. Now I hear from the man himself. I'm like, okay, Jody actually invests in 3 different software. Right? I purposely loaded this up to put as the background behind me, and it's not working. So yeah,
You should have done your Transformers argument with this screen behind you.
no.
Yeah, transform.
Making that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It is really tricky, and like especially I'm a remote worker, so we do a lot of meetings online, and everybody uses this default or default fake green screening, where default virtual backgrounds.
Right. Yeah.
It never works, that kind of piece of software. You really need a proper green screen, proper lighting, and then the software on top to actually do the chroma keying. It's tricky. It took me hours and hours. It took me days, weeks to actually get it set up properly.
Okay. Cool. So the fact that I didn't figure it out in the last 90 minutes is that doesn't just make me stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, mate. It's
Cool.
all good.
Dude, Ken, you just went to Chromebook and got rid of your phone finally.
Well, yeah, he's always busting my balls because all my videos I do off of my phone, and I probably will still edit on here, but it's nice to be able to go live and do end screens and descriptions on an actual device now. So I can at least do some stuff here, right? And the camera, you can get a lot more periphery, right? On my phone, I'm always up there like this, right? So, yeah. So literally just booted this up today.
Just a question though, not meaning to go to Ken or Zazel or Kelly or Jody, but who else has a channel? Ryan, you don't have a channel, do you?
Ryan does. He's anti-subscriber. So if you find out about his channel and a subscription goes up by 1, he's like, damn.
Yep.
Space
I don't
Commander,
want
you
you
don't
to-
have one, do you?
Wait for that delay.
I'm having a few technical difficulties at this end. I don't know if you guys can even hear me at the moment, but I
That's
keep losing
normal.
the sound and the picture, so I might have to bug out. But a couple of things. Zazel, keep hold of those Krakens because they're going to come in handy for the special project.
Right.
And happy Jubilee weekend, everybody. God save the Queen. Bless her.
God save the Queen.
Save the Queen.
All right. Yeah.
Well, there is something to be said on that. Because with a high subscriber count, a high number of views, there come tons of stupid comments.
Jody knows because you were like what, like a 500 subscriber channel, and then all of a sudden he had this video hit 2.4 million views, something like that. Jody,
Yeah, one of my vids went viral.
you went like seriously viral, right? If you're in our toy space and you get 20,000 views, that's great. Jody hit 2.4 million. And I think you went from like 500 subscribers to like 8,000 in a matter
I
of a
can't hear
couple of months.
anything now, so I'm just going to bug out. Okay, sorry everybody.
Take care, Space Commander.
I can't hear a thing, so I'll catch you guys
All right,
next time. Okay.
Go get the Triad Fighter fixed and say hi to the troops for us. Okay. All right.
You know what's like about the British is that he could be under attack by terrorists, aliens, and dinosaurs at the same time, and that's probably exactly what he would sound like. I'm having a little bit of difficulty, you know.
Well, difficulty with these dinosaurs. So
I love the British.
As far as Space Commander and a channel goes, he doesn't have an official channel, but he is an official member of the Slaughterhouse. We do a little episodic thing called Incoming Transmission, where we talk about Palatoy Action Force. He's teaching me all about it. So we've got our own little thing. We've done about 3 episodes of that now, because I know basically nothing about Palatoy Action Force. The only thing I do know is what he tells me. And he's always got such passion behind it that I could sit there for hours and just listen to him talk about Action Force. So we decided to turn it into a little series.
Everything I know about Action Force, I learned off of Analog Toys.
Yeah,
Yes.
Just about to say, have a chat with Tony because he is the Action Force guy.
Yeah.
And Jody was just on his channel earlier today, I think. So, or I know, I was watching.
Yeah. So Tony does Palatalk, which is a great series to sit and watch. A lot of great information to do with Palatoy there too. I would hate to bother Tony and have him double up on information he's already given. So I just sort of go back and watch what he's done and chat with Space Commander and find out stuff that I don't know. But there's a wealth of knowledge out there.
I need to bother Tony in case he insults me, because he's just like, "Oh, you call me Hayden Missing?"
Oh, come on.
He has a what? It's a documentary he put out like years ago.
Yeah.
Story
That's really good. Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of the Slaughterhouse, you finally made it to the Iconicon agenda, and not just one, but you got many entries, buddy.
Yeah. Yep, true. I'm doing a few panels. I do have a video as well that's going out where I sit down with Sarge and Kelly, and we talk through some of Sergeant Slaughter's most recent action figures. So hopefully that'll also bring some viewership over to Kelly's channel. Ken's also on Iconicon this year, and he's jumping on a few streams as a panelist, and we're also doing our own live, which is why we're sort of practicing now.
Yes.
This is just like a casual hangout. We've got to bring the goods when it's Iconicon. We got to really put on our game face.
I have to ask, Kelly, do you own any of your father's memorabilia? I mean, do you own any of his stuff? Or you're like, because to you, he's just dad, eh?
Right?
Yes.
Do you own any?
I do have memorabilia of his. I've never bought anything. Well, that's not true. I have bought a few things, but most of it he's given to me.
Right. Does he sound like this when he gets angry? Does he sound like that? I mean, like when you were little, get to bed, you know.
That's an order.
Yeah.
Full force up the stairs. Give me a yo-jo every time you do a push-up.
I mean, I only know him as, you know,
Right. Yeah.
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
you know.
He does yell, but Sarge really doesn't come out that much.
Right.
He's a really like laid back, soft spoken guy. Like a gentleman who loves his family and loves his grandkids, and he's just a normal guy.
They're little slaughter children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, how many?
Well, I have 2, and then my sister has 2.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Does he babysit at all?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do they know who he is?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he's
I
grandpa.
think that is our
Grandpa. Oh my gosh, that's true.
Hans just asking all the questions I
Like
want to ask.
I have.
Because I can't believe you guys were talking a bunch of Star Wars shit, and there's like Kelly Lewis is in the room.
Well, ask away, Hans. Ask away. Ask all the questions.
I have like some of his action figures that the kids play with, and they say no, it's Grandpa. So.
What do they
use
think of it?
Grandpa with their own toys? I mean, is he with the Paw Patrol and stuff? I mean, is that?
Yeah, and with Paw Patrol. And
That's awesome.
I'm so glad my wife is putting the kids to sleep tonight. Oh,
Hans, I keep saying you need your own channel, and if you don't want to do your own, collaborate with Gazz.
I will come on your channels. It's too much work because I
Right? Yeah. It's too
You
much
can
work to
always-
do, channel.
You can always
I'll do it
stumble
for
up.
mine.
Like,
I don't put any work in and still do it.
Yeah, but I have to talk to you. I have a bunch of stuff on my desk that you made me buy, but I'll anyway.
Who's you in this case? Who are you talking to, Ryan or Gazz?
Shit. There. Mr. Sweeney.
Okay.
Young Master Sweeney up there in the middle. That's so
You're
cool
just jealous because I
never-
beat anorexia.
I suppose I never really think of, Sergeant Slaughter as grandpa or as dad or any of that stuff. So when you think about it now, it's like, I guess to certain people, because I mean, there's a certain reference that we would have. I'd meet him and I'd be like, it was very nice to meet you, Mr. Remus. I grew up with your work. Thank you for all that you've done. But you would be like, Dad, stop threatening my boyfriend. And no. Did he do that? I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, did he?
I don't know if I'm ever going to have this opportunity again. So I'd rather ask for apologize and ask for permission. But he used to threaten because they would have seen him wrestling and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think I think I had one boyfriend that maybe two boyfriends that my dad didn't like all that much.
Did he
So,
lock him up or?
Are they no longer with us?
In the Cobra Clutch.
Cobra Clutch.
He did?
Gosh,
He broke
No
out the
way,
chair
no.
shots.
they're gonna be
Oh,
telling them that story. They're gonna be saying that story forever. They're gonna be all of them is like, you know who I was once with, and you know who did the thing to me.
Hans,
So I-
Never been in that much pain in my life, but I'd do it all over again.
I can already envision that if Sergeant Slaughter is babysitting, he's actually already training them for the next WWF.
right?
If you're gonna have to go to sleep, it might as well be the Sarge knocking you out. You know what I mean?
Right, true.
Well, the first time I met
Could
Kelly,
you-
I tried to actually fantasy book her what her WWE career would have been like, right? I think we decided that you would have come in around the time that Chyna and Trish Stratus were in their peak, and you would have come down around the time like Charlotte Flair came in, you'd be on the way out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So something like, oh, you don't even remember. I had this whole thing like written up. I was like, yeah, okay, so you would have won this match, and you would have won this match.
Is the Sarge like
Hans,
7
if
feet
you
tall?
want to see something cool, Kelly interviewed her dad on her channel. She did, was it 2 episodes, I believe. But
There's
you
3
get
of
to
them
see
out
a completely different side of Sarge that you've ever seen. And at times, I think that he was actually scared of Kelly more so than she is scared of him.
There are
It's
moments.
mad. It's
But
really?
it'll blow your mind because everything you remember as a kid, you're just like,
Yeah, he's not scared of anything.
yeah. Slaughter's daughter is scarier. That's what you got to remember.
Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
need the
it's like-
badass bitch T-shirt. So
I think people think how do I say this around a bunch of men? I think
you just do.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of times people think women are intimidated by men, and I am not intimidated by men in any way, shape, or form. And I'm like, my dad, I grew up going toe to toe, head to head with him,
In the
fighting
ring.
with him to get a dog or a cat or to be able to go out with my friends or whatever it was. And I'm like, you don't
Could
intimidate.
you imagine someone telling Sarge, "You're ruining my life"? I mean, let me go. No, you're ruining my life.
out with my boyfriend, please.
Go back upstairs and change your clothes. I don't know going out. What is?
you're not going out dressed like that. Oh, yes, I am. He would say, we would be like arguing over something, and he would go, "Who do you think you are?" And I would be like, "I, Kelly Remus. That's who I."
Yeah, I can't.
You said that to the Sarge?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
I mean, I'm Kelly Remus.
That's the difference between Sergeant Slaughter and Dad.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing this all in my mind, like you yelling at him, and he's just dressed as Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, because to me, he dresses in that all the time. He goes.
He's got the hat, the glasses, and you're screaming at him, and he's just like looking.
And he
at you.
drops and gives you 20.
He taught me well. I mean,
come on, kids, let's go to McDonald's. Never think coming out of his mouth. This is incredible.
Yeah, you can't imagine Sergeant Mackers, can you?
No.
I mean, think about this. Imagine all of the wrestlers that she's met. All the ones that.
Oh, okay. Wait. Have you ever met Rowdy Piper?
oh yeah, lots of times.
Oh, wow.
What is this?
Yeah, watch your channel. It's
Roddy
awesome.
Piper. Roddy.
Oh,
Rod.
Roddy. Love Roddy.
Are you sorry? And this is stupid too, but you're as tall as all of them because you assume anything that comes from Sarge's DNA is a minimum of 6'10". You know?
Right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, you're
What
still
was that?
taller than me by a little, so yeah.
You're 5 for what?
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we get a repeat? Can we get a repeat, Kelly, on your height?
5'7".
There you go.
Well, what's in the metric system?
Oh, 5'7". I don't know.
No,
That's-
5'7" is like a meter and
That's imperial. That's imperial, right? So what's that? 67
140
inches?
centimeters.
2.54. So it's like 170 centimeters, give or take.
I was close.
Yeah. You see, Jody, getting me off my cell phone was actually a good thing because I could use it as a calculator now. So
Hey, speaking of wrestling, does anybody remember that cartoon back then, Hulk Hogan's Working Wrestling?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's how I first, as a kid, got introduced into WWF. The Sarge never made it into the cartoon, did he?
No. He was out of WWF.
yeah, he would have been in GI Joe at the time, right? So then his contract would
The
have been
big
up.
difference between how Hulk Hogan looks. There we are from Collector Express. There we are. Cheers, buddy.
There you go.
So you
So
would
there's a
have
big
met
difference between how G.I. Joe looked and how Rock and Wrestling looked.
Just a
So
little.
you did like all of the wrestlers when they went off and they wrestled? Did you have like wrestling kids to like, oh, this is Hulk Hogan's kid. Y'all play while Daddy goes outside and strangles the Iron Sheik. I mean, is that a thing? Because you would have been backstage.
I met a few of the wrestlers' kids. Mainly though, it was like Roddy Piper's kids and Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh yeah.
Lord Alfred Hayes.
They were
Yes.
a little older than I was. Only maybe 3 years old at that time with Lord Alfred Hayes's children. My sister played with them a little bit more than I did. That I remember. It was so little.
Yeah.
But and then if we were ever backstage together, it was like a hello, but I didn't hang out with, or I wasn't friends with any of the wrestlers.
You guys didn't wrestle backstage?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You would have met some of them though in his second run there in 1990, 1991 era. You would have met some of the kids then.
Mr. Reeves, we have a problem backstage. Your daughter put Roddy's kid through a table. Can you please come?
Even if it was before the days of the tables, but yes, they probably innovated the tables backstage and goes, "Hey, we should tell the Dudley Boys to go do that on screen."
Yeah.
So Kelly, had you ever thought about going into wrestling?
I did when I was younger. I wanted to do what my dad did. And at that time, in my little girl mind, the wrestlers that I saw that were female weren't tough enough.
All right.
Like wrestled the boys, and what I saw was Glow, and not to say that they weren't tough in Glow, it just they were wrestling each other, and it was like cat fight, and I wanted to wrestle the boys, and there really wasn't anyone doing that, so I didn't I just didn't follow through with that. And plus, my dad didn't want me to do that. My mom wanted me to do that, so they weren't encouraging me.
Right.
But now that I'm older, I feel like I would have been a really good wrestler. I think I'm too old now. I don't think my body could take it.
What happened was you just got caught in the wrong age group, because like the Moolah and Wendy Richter era, you would have been too young. The Lita, Trish Stratus, China era, you would have been a little late to start training. So you were in that middle, like Alundra Blaze era, where it wasn't popular.
It was like Miss Elizabeth. It was like armed.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about the valets. But yes, which it doesn't help the situation. But yes.
Yeah.
So Sensational Sherry used to jump in the ring and interfere with the matches, and she was quite a badass herself. But then China, she really was brutal. But did China ever wrestle any of the guys, or did she just sort of run in and interfere with the?
No,
she
she
wrestled the guys all the time. Oh yeah,
her dad wrestled.
I need to go back and check. I know that she was ringside for a lot of matches.
She won the Intercontinental title from what I recall. Yeah,
mate, I need to go and rewatch some of this stuff.
Yeah, she
Who did win it again?
Intercontinental Championship before he held Vince up for money. So she beat a number of men wrestlers.
That's right.
Well,
she'd even enter the Royal Rumble, right?
Yep.
Actually, that's my best memory of China, when they did the corporation versus DX like mini Rumble, where they had like a member from the corporation and a member from DX, and Mr. McMahon, being as conniving as he was, came out at the very end and eliminated the last corporation member and started celebrating. And then DX's music comes on and China comes out. It's like, DX isn't done yet, and she goes and she eliminates McMahon, and then DX wins the corporate DX Rumble, which I thought was the most cleverest way to do it, right? Because she's out of sight, out of mind, and then the music comes on. You remember she's the wrestler, and she's part of this faction, and she's going to take your ass out, McMahon. So my favorite memory
about all the Eddie Guerrero stuff. How did I forget that?
Oh, the Latino Heat stuff. Yes.
Yeah. How did I forget about that stuff? That was great. Google. I need to go back and rewatch some of that stuff. Reacquaint myself with China, because she was a great talent. She's a great talent. I can't believe I've done her an injustice by forgetting all about that. Crazy.
And she was very nice. She was very sweet and very nice.
It's okay. We always forget important things. Like I forgot Hans is still part of this chat. He's right on screen. Like, you know.
Wow.
Because I'm listening. Because to you guys, it's Saturday, right? To me, it's like
it's Sunday for me, mate.
It's Sunday over there, and it's probably Sunday in the Netherlands. It's probably just Sunday in the Netherlands too.
Tomorrow's lottery numbers, which I'll never forgive you.
But anyway, Saturday here.
It's like I'm sorry. I just didn't think tonight I'd be in here. And I mean, Kelly Remus is in here.
Yeah, you see that? See my icons look? That's the look I have right now.
I love how your whole Facebook Gazz is Calvin and Hobbes.
Well, I love Calvin and Hobbes, but this is the actual look I have on my face at the moment.
That's what I look like, kind of, but my eyes can't get that big because of the Chinese. But it's true.
Add glasses. It helps.
You know, it's like later on, I'm going to be there with my wife, and I'm going to be like, you know who I met tonight? And he's like, yep, you told me like 12 times.
I'm going to be like this at work.
And you know,
I met Sarge's daughter.
And you know what's funny is today is actually our anniversary, and so she's going to be. I know, right?
So
the our 12th anniversary has been erased because I met somebody else today. So this is hilarious. But, you know,
today was the day.
Today was the day. It's very easy to remember. You know, the 4th of June. 2022. Met Sarge's daughter. Wife probably gonna have a fight later. She's gonna be like, "We're gonna watch a movie." Yes, we are gonna watch a movie. Just Zazel. He needs me here.
Right. Yeah. He needs me.
Zazel has a way of pulling in people, like
everyone.
Dutch guy at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Jody. I kind of like the Slaughterhouse to be somewhere where everyone can hang out. It's lonely when you do it by yourself. It's much better to be surrounded by friends. Oh.
I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
I can still remember my first interaction with you, Zazel. And it was actually retweeting one of my my fun facts, which was actually a really short video featuring the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe toy.
That's right. It's one of my favorite videos that you've done. I still go back and check it out every now and again because it also has the Rocky, a little bit of history from the Rocky figure that never was.
Yep.
And I think the fridge is also in that video.
Fridge and Roddy Piper was in
right.
there.
Yes. Yeah. So that's how I found your channel too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Rowdy was an exclusive, right?
Yes.
Convention
An
exclusive.
Iron Grenadier.
The modern one. Yes.
Well, modern-ish. Like it's sort of like that weird transitional phase between O-ring and modern era. So
Was Roddy Scottish?
He was Canadian, right?
Well, he's from Canada, but he's
Canadian is not Scottish. There's a distinct difference.
he's billed as coming from Scotland, right?
Yeah.
Is he really though?
He can play the bagpipes. That's good enough.
Can he?
Yeah.
He can.
No.
That was his gimmick coming down to the ring, right?
Well, he wore a kilt.
Yeah. But didn't he play bagpipes as he was in the ring a couple times?
So he was really
I
playing.
think so.
I believe he was able to play the bagpipes.
Was that a skill that he attained before becoming a wrestler? Like everybody was like guitar, drums, bagpipe, you know?
So
why not?
Canadian professional wrestler, born in Saskatoon.
Woohoo!
Could you imagine that in the Piper
Saskatoon
household?
represent.
Roddy, can you please stop? No, it's my passion.
You're going to tell Roddy Piper not to do it.
He didn't have a really good life growing up. I think he started wrestling.
Roddy
at like
would have been
16.
small at one time. Imagine 8-year-old Roddy Piper locked in his room and playing the bagpipes, and on the wall is the picture of the world famous Macbeth one, whatever. Yeah, a famous bagpiper, and he's there looking as if one day I'm gonna be like you. And then, of course, 20 years later, he's walking to the ring with a bagpipe. In his mind, he's kind of crying because he really wanted to play the bagpipe professionally, but unfortunately, he ended up wrestling instead.
Settle for this.
He had to settle for wrestling. Yeah, exactly. You know,
He was very protective of the business, though. Roddy Piper, extremely protective of, because that's why he was the one who really opposed Mr. T coming into the business, right? Yep. And he's like, why are these celebrities coming in and taking our airtime and going straight to the main event, right? So had legit heat there. So
because
besides the skill,
pay their dues.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pay their dues.
Kelly, question for you.
Yeah.
Would you have ever imagined you being on a live stream with a bunch of other guys, with a bunch of geeks talking about Roddy's bagpipe?
I think he's used to it now.
Be offended if it wasn't true. Anyway,
if I could just put Kelly in the middle, that might seem a little. We could turn that into a meme, right? If I could somehow figure out.
No.
Yeah, I'm not meme worthy, so throw her in the middle.
Well, there you go. Done. How does that look? Are you in the middle on your screen? You're on line.
Malcolm in the middle.
next to Ryan and above Ken.
There's a meme here. All we need to do is add a logo at the bottom.
The Brady Bunch.
Yes, I was thinking something else, but yes,
Dirty
definitely
Kelly
Brady
bunch.
Like I was gonna say,
Dirty bunch.
Kelly bunch.
The nerdy bunch.
Nerdy.
I don't know if this is true, but I feel that gentlemen such as ourselves who have passion for these sort of things tend to make superior lovers because we tend to be we tend to obsess very easily. And I think that's essentially a component for proper romance. At least that's what I tell myself.
Hans, it's just that we're happy that a girl would talk to us, so we pay a little bit more attention.
It's true.
And then they marry us too. But no.
Stop. She's reaching for the leave button. Stop.
Said, the hand is creeping in one hand is the drink, and the other hand is goodbye.
technical difficulties.
For the title of the stream, I should have said we get to talk to a real girl. A real girl comes to hang out at the slaughterhouse.
So let's tell an interesting story about real girls. So I do voices for radio, right? So that's why welcome 93.5, tuning in for the that voice, And one day they put me in studio. I was very young. I was about 19 years old. They put me in studio with a girl, another DJ, and we're in the same room together. She has her own mic, and I'm here, and I couldn't do it. Which is what a lot of men say sometimes, I'd imagine. But I couldn't. I was not capable of actually performing because I used to freeze up around girls. I still do a little bit. So you'll find whenever I meet like my wife's friends and stuff like that, I get very quiet and all that sort of thing. And the only reason I'm able to talk now is because I am probably never going to meet Kelly ever again unless she's at like Joe Fest next year, and I'll be like, "Hi."
She might be. She might be.
Do a little dance, maybe.
It's not that far from where I live. It's only like what did I say it was, Zazel? Do you remember? I think I was like an hour and a half. What the hell?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
it's in Augusta. It's in Augusta, right? So
Hans, this is even better for us.
Hi.
It's true.
Hi, Justin. Oh, hey, your signal sucks. I'm sorry, your signal sucks. But hey, how you doing?
Hey, Ken from Justin as well.
Yeah, I probably got to drop out relatively soon myself. But if you guys,
that too. We've got another recording to do in about. We'll drop out in about 5 or 10 minutes so we can get set up for the next one.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm good for 5 or 10.
Sure.
Just so you guys know, Hans and myself are planning like a trip to Joe Fest next year. So maybe hopefully all you guys could be there as well.
It's true. I live 7,200 miles on a plane ride away.
Wow. So someone come pick me up.
Now.
Supposedly, I'm supposed to be there next year for Joe Fest. So,
all right. See, look.
I think
if you can come and pick up me and Jody, we'd super appreciate it.
Well, I'll just get
be on the plane
to make a detour. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Hans and I have actually met in person a few years ago. I think you were saying
my way of making planes do a detour will be different, though. It'll be everybody get on the ground. We're going to Australia.
Hey Hans, and this is the time when you ended up on the TSA list where you now can't get on.
Like, guys, I can't come anymore.
Damn it!
I'm not.
I'll find a way to smuggle you in.
Justin's going to try and make it. If I could make it to next year's Joe Fest, that'll be a dream come true. Going to this one would be irrelevant because Sarge isn't going to be there. But if I could make it to next year,
the Desert Rat is going to be there.
That's right.
That is true.
I think Bellaverse is there every year.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, hopefully they got a really good panel this year. Like, I'd love to see some more reveals. Like last year was this guy, right? Tim Kennedy. That was the reveal, right? So, yeah.
Maybe Slaughter Daughter will be the reveal for next year.
Ooh, yes.
I remember hearing that show where you guys were talking to Bobby Veller. And that would be a cool figure.
That would
be so.
Yeah.
Slaughter Daughter Karma.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Got to have that pet sidekick.
They always have to. I think every line should always have at least one female figure, because I find that they kind of get the shaft sometimes. Only recently, I'm going to say within the last 10 years, if we start to see resurgence, kind of in female figures, and they've been given not only a new prevalence, but they're given a new respect. Because back in the day, what they would do is they cast one female, and anybody who collects Marvel Legends would know this. Is they would cast one female mold, and you'd get that 700 times.
You get all the X-Men on one one female buck, right?
So
I think
nowadays we're getting tons of new ones.
Valaverse is about to release their female figure. I forget her name.
A full
Pandora,
wave.
Pandora.
Yeah, Pandora. I just got the comic.
The female Steel Brigade, and there's one more female. Kill Switch.
Yep. Nice.
Bobby, you better watch this because I have your whole roster memorized. I'm like a true fanboy.
Add Slaughter Daughter. Add Slaughter Daughter to the roster.
Slaughter Daughter. Next wave. Yeah. Well, if they got the female buck ready, why not? Right?
Did you see the tempo on the back of the head for Pandora?
Oh, Pandora, yes.
Oh, damn, that looks good.
Looks good.
Looks very good. I'm almost tempted to get a tattoo back here. I'm all bald back here. You can't see it. So if I could just get a tattoo there, that would really help to distract from the baldness.
Mhm.
I'm not really bald back there.
Yeah,
It'd be
it's
ironic.
kinda tattoo.
I'm bald right here at the top.
Yeah. This is all a wig. It's not a very good one.
It's true. It's,
I actually got alopecia back in 2020, and it took about a year for my hair to grow back.
I don't want to talk about it. I'll get a slap.
Saving the slap for Joe Fest 23. Got all the time to practice it between now and then.
Is that still topical? Is that? Oh, here we go. Justin says, "I met Bobby in 2020. Real nice dude." There you go.
every time I meet anybody named Bobby, I wonder if their full name is Robert. You know, because I know Bob, and Bobby is a short. Is it Robert? Is it Robert Valor? Because that's a very class, Mr. Robert Valor.
Robert Valor to the valet.
But you got Robert Remus, Robert Valla. You know,
Robert is an amazing name. You know, all those old British names are wonderful names. William, fantastic name. Mr. William, if you would come this way, please. Richard. One that I always like to throw around whenever anybody is being too fancy. But, well, aren't you Alexander Cuthford III? And
there we go. Bobbert.
Bobbert. Little less impressive than Robert. But.
Wasn't Bobbert the name of the woman, Lorena Bobbert, who cut off the man's
yes, and John Wayne.
Here's a throwback, literally.
Why do you gotta take it there?
Yeah, we gotta end on a high note, right?
Gotta end on a high note, yeah.
It's stiff competition.
I apparently started this on a high note, so we end on a high note too. Eh?
Yeah, I've actually got a jet as well. I've been summoned. So
all right, guys, this was a great casual hangout. It's literally the members stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pleasure to meet you. Highlight of my day, and today was
it's been a real pleasure.
So it was nice to meet all of you.
It was lovely to
nice to meet you.
No, he's putting the belt back on the line. Yeah, the members stream is just
I'm coming for you.
Sorry, I talked over you. Can do it again.
On my wall.
Mountie, I'm coming for you.
Meet you.
Get ready to tap.
Bring it on.
I'm saluting. You just can't see it.
All right. Anyway, so the members stream is basically just a casual hangout. There's never any real agenda or topic to talk about. We just shoot the shit, as they say. I was going to say shoot the breeze, but who says that in real life? Shoot the shit. So yeah, we'll do this again next month. A whole new link. And I appreciate everyone's time hanging out here today, and everyone who watched and left a comment. Thank you very much. Justin, work out your internet problems, buddy. We'll see you on the next one. But thanks, everybody, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Dismissed.
Don't do drugs.